Guys, and welcome back to another episode of JALEN Says. And today we're going to be with the cast of Heart of a Man. Now, this topic is kind of really, being really present in my life, and it's really becoming a staple with the past couple years now, especially with my life. And I know it's really becoming a staple with a lot of other people's lives. And it's really about caring for men as a man, but like you get what I'm trying to say. It's like caring for one another and knowing that we all have emotions and that we all need help and that we all, sometimes cry and things like that. And great thing to talk about, and I'm really excited. I'm really stoked. I'm really stoked. I mean, I'm not sure it's coming through well through the camera, but my feet are tapping. I'm really stoked for this interview. But before we get into it, let's get in with our sponsors. Now, first up, we have Chess and Community. Now, Chess and Community is all about bringing the youth and people together and really making them think before they move and really letting them see the world in a different perspective. And I really love that. And they have really been a help to me with growing what I am doing, and they've been real supporters. So if you have any member of the youth or you just want to support Chess and Community, please do, because it's a really powerful organization that's really just helping kids advance in life. And it's not just for chess, it's for life making decisions, because you don't want to end up in a place where you didn't think before you jumped into something. So, hey, please check out our sponsor, Chess and Community. Now, next up, we have the Mitchell's Academy of Music and Dance. Now, I've been with the Mitchells for around 2 years, and it's incredible. I mean, they know music, they love music, and when they're playing, it vibrates to you. So if you have a passion of music and or dance, please check out the Mitchell's Academy of Music and Dance, because hey, you're gonna get far working with them. Now, recently, this is something that I just recently did. I have something called Youth Says, where I'm also bringing kids together. And for the Pan-African Festival, I did do a fashion show with a bunch of the youth, and it was pretty incredible. So I am getting a lot of youth together, and stuff like that is coming on very soon. Now, I know we're all excited for getting in. We're all excited to get into this interview. But hey, I am being an honoree for a Constellation Award annual award ceremony from the Heaven Help One Help All Foundations, and it's really incredible. So if you have the time, please come out. It's going to be May 11th, and we're going to have a good time. It's going to be fantastic. And I don't really get, I guess I do. I really just focus on trying to spread other people, but it's really an honor when I get to be noticed like this, and it's pretty incredible. Now, all right. We did all the sponsors. We did a short introduction in the beginning. All right, let's get into this. First off, a lot of people that are here are people that I have met before, and this topic again is something that's really a constant in my life at the moment, and I hope it stays like that, because it's something important. We have to know to really think of our men as people and as people with emotions. And I know we as men, we have to be strong, because we're seen as the leaders of the household and the leaders of a lot of stuff, and sometimes it just gets too much. And I'm a kid, so I can't really speak all that much on it, but it's something that is really important to be seen and to be talked about. Now, all right. Now we have the person who brought this all together, who's been doing this for a while now, and she's doing her thing. I see what she's doing, and it's fantastic. So now to, I guess, introduce herself and introduce more of Heart of a Man, here she is. Now, can you tell me how to pronounce your name? I don't want to mess it up. I had too many times where I messed it up, and it's just embarrassing. So
Sure. My name is Ardre Orie.
Ardre Orie.
Yes.
So, Miss Ardre, what made you really come up with the idea of Heart of a Man?
The heart of a man is the byproduct of 21 years of marriage. I have been married for 21 years, and my husband and I made a pact that if I were brutally honest about what women thought and felt, that he would do the same to help me understand what men thought and felt. And so those discussions really became important to the survival of our relationship, because there's so much that we don't know about one another. And so it was really important to bring that to the forefront. The other piece that really inspired me to write this was the unnecessary killing of dear brother Philando Castile. And when I watched that video, I just felt extremely helpless. I felt, what can I do to help Black men? And, where are the safe spaces for Black men to cry out, to express emotion, and just to be heard and seen? And so this production is a compilation of both of those things.
First off, hats off to you, and I mean also hats off to your husband as well, because a lot of men aren't confident enough to do what he said he did, and hey, he did it. Now to, I guess, bring in some of the cast. First up, we have Mr. Tobias Aman. So can you tell us how you got in contact with Miss Audrey, and what's your relation to this kind of, I guess, story?
Oh man, if you can even envision, there's so many different topics that we touch basis on. It brings shed light to a lot of different things that women have always said that they wanted to understand men, and we just don't be transparent enough, and we don't show our different emotions. So the creativity was just dynamic. So Ardre, I know that she's done this project in the past with different casts in different areas, and I've heard so much about it. And I was approached about the opportunity with one of the producers. And once I found out more about it, I just had to be a part of it. She's amazing with that pen, I tell you.
Wow. Wow. So you do a lot yourself, which is pretty incredible. You're an actor, you're a model, you're a CEO, you're a founder. And what I really want to get into, because this whole message about Heart of a Man is helping our men open up. And you have a foundation where you help people with cancer, which is really incredible. So can you tell us about the Tobias Cancer Foundation?
So Tobias Saman Cancer Foundation. Well, it was incepted. It's almost about 3 years now. So the I'll say the catalyst of it. I lost my sister about 3 years ago to cervical cancer. But what many people don't know is I'm a cancer survivor myself. So it's been 13 years, and it was just so many different things that I went through and wanted to be able to share. And one of the biggest things was the challenge of having the support. So whether it's something of the emotional, financial, all different facets of what you go through, I wanted to be able to give that type of assistance, because I was fortunate enough to have some amazing friends and family to really have my back. Because I went through a really tough period, and I think they gave me around a 23% chance of survival,
Wow.
medical coma and everything. So it was a lot. So I wanted to be able to give back. And my sister, and on some of her last moments, I told her that I definitely wanted to do something in her name. So I'm working on the book, and the foundation is something that has given me such joy. I've had so many people reach out to me and tell me how much that it's inspired them, give them strength to go on, because you don't hear so much from men. And especially for me to be a man of color and to be a young man of color, they were saying it's a big difference between empathy and sympathy. So if you have someone that's being able to tell you, I've been through this, I know what it feels like, I know there's this emotional roller coaster that you go through, it definitely speaks volumes. So the foundation is doing incredible. I have some amazing sponsors, supporters, and yeah, I'm very proud of it.
Well, before we get on with the interview, I'd like to say I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank
And
you.
I'm glad you're doing this to keep pushing on and really help other people who have been in situations similar to yours.
I appreciate that.
Now, next up onto the stage, we have Mr. Kevin Savage, who act him up. This guy, he all right. Now he's a really muscular guy. He has that model build. Like look at his shirt right now. It's look, he's drinking water. He's drinking that weightlifting water. So he's standing on business. So can you tell us, how did you get in contact with Miss Audrey?
Rashida put me in contact with Ardre. Rashida told her that I would be a great fit for one of the roles, and so I'm just thankful thankful. You know, when people think about you, right? And when people have you on their mind, that's always a blessing. So that's how that got started. And Ardre she's just amazing. I mean, she put so much work together based on, her marriage, which to me is ingenious because so many people don't want to share, intimate things about their marriage. So to do that is just amazing, ingenious, and I'm excited. And Jalen, I'm excited for you because you guys don't know, we were actually all in a play together, God Guys.
Yeah.
So, Jalen, I'm proud of you to see what you're doing. And Tobias was in the play as well. And shout out to the other cast members. I'm proud of you, young man. Keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And now, what kind of connects you with the story of Heart of a Man, and how has your experience with it kind of helped you get into character?
It's amazing because growing up, I grew up in a household full of women. And I didn't meet my brother until years later. So I was the protector, right? Provider. So I've always had that role of being that leading man, right? If I didn't do it, no one else could or did. So and I find that to be common, right, in a household, especially as a man of color. um, you know, it's just a different experience that we go through, right? I mean, we have to deal with so many other things that other cultures don't have to deal with. So just being a part of this, project and my particular role is so fun. It's so me, and it's just amazing because everybody that's a part of this cast, it's like Ardre just handpicked everybody perfectly for their parts, and everything fits like all together, just like like a puzzle, right? And creating this beautiful picture of just men being vulnerable, men being honest, men giving their real feelings. So I think people are going to take this in, and they're going to be blown away to see this production.
Yes, I am too. I am too. Now, next up. Now, when I saw this guy's Instagram, I was pretty wowed by the people who have been in this man's grills. Now, all right. Now I could talk about it. But I don't think it would be to the magnitude that this absolute beast, Mr. Scotty ATL. All right. Now, his nickname, right? King of Grills. Now he's wearing some right now, so he's about it. He's about it. And what kind of made you, first off, want to start that type of business?
Well, actually, I started off doing music, and a friend of mine invited me to the studio. He gave me this idea that another guy wanted me to help him with his grills. And so I was kind of interested. I went by, checked it out. After I ran into one of my friends at the club, and he was a dental assistant. He just lost his job. He said he wanted to do grills. So I was like, man, we can go right now and get started. And that's what happened. That's how I got started.
That is incredible. And how did you get in contact with Miss Audrey?
Through Quran, actually. I was in a movie earlier this year with Terry J. Vaughn. Terry J. Vaughn connected me with Quran, and Quran connected me with Ardre. And so I really just been wowed by the whole thing, man, to have this many men, different personalities coming together, for one cause, and just all the stories are different too. It's such a powerful experience.
Wow. So what connects you to the story, personally?
What connects me to the story is, I think a lot of people don't know this about me. I came from a hard upbringing, single parent home. I grew up at first being a real closed off person. I didn't really let people in. I was in the street life. And as I got older, I saw the need to be able to experience life, because I felt like when you cut your heart off from being able to be disappointed or hurt, you also can't experience joy as well. And so I began on this journey, just becoming a better person. I read books every day. I really challenge myself, you know, to grow as a human being. So I feel like my purpose on earth is to inspire. I want people to be inspired from, you know, what we're doing. And I feel
Yeah,
like I have a story to tell that people are going to feel through the message. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Ardre.
that is incredible. That's incredible. And honestly, congrats to you because you're doing a lot, and it's incredible. It's really something. And now,
Thank
next up, we have Mr. Neil Carr, who is an actor, who's a producer, and all right, this guy, right? I talk about this a lot when I see people with a lot of facial hair. It might sound a little weird, but it's like, man, if I could just grow that. And he has a fantastic looking one. Like I see you smirking, I see you. You're laughing it off, but you know it. You know you have that beard. All right. Now to to introduce himself even further, here's Mr. Neil Carr. So how are you doing today?
Hey, I'm great, man. I'm, blessed. Very thankful to say the least. How you doing today, my brother? Can you hear me?
Fantastic. I'm doing fantastic. And can you really tell us what got you into acting, producing, and how did you get in contact with Miss Audrey?
Oh man, well I've always been into the arts. I'm a former athlete. So I was recruited to play quarterback. Graduated from Delaware State University, and I got injured. So I kind of slid into the acting thing. When I was younger, I went to a vocational high school where I took up production and things of that nature. So I've always been involved with, behind the camera stuff, man, shooting, editing, things of that nature. So I made a transition later on and got bit by the acting bug and, been at it ever since. I met Audrey through a real good friend of mine, my sister, Rashida Randall. Me and her have been knowing each other for about, 9-10 years, man. Earlier on in the circuit when I first got here. And we was doing a stage play called Tomcat. And we've just been super cool since then, man. And she's threw the alley-oop for me to meet Audrey. And I actually did Part of a Man 7 years ago on the first installment. So, to be back in the saddle with the squad, man, with an amazing leading cast, to speak about something that is, so prevalent, man. I'm very grateful, man, and excited to take wings with the cast, man. The brothers are all so dope and talented, man. So, it's amazing to be a part of it.
So what connects you personally to the story?
I think, as far as I'm concerned, my actual monologue, I connect to it on certain levels. Understanding some of the issues, that mental health issues that plague certain people, certain pressures in life that make people make terrible decisions sometimes. But I think each monologue has something special that sits deep inside my heart that resonates when I hear it, whether it was from myself or, other people in the world that I've known, in the process of my journey, just black men himself, man. Going through some of the individual secret issues that we face as men and, not being able to really be able to communicate sometimes on all platforms. So it hits home a lot for me, man. It's something that I think both parties will have an opportunity to learn from. A lot of times, people don't realize what has happened to men and women. And we need women need men. But a lot of times the dialogue and what's going on and what's being put out there is not really about keeping families together, man. So I think this is huge because it's going to give a lot of people an opportunity to kind of hear it from a different side without having to be defensive or combative. They got to sit and listen. So yeah, man. I think it's a real amazing opportunity. I said to tell the story.
Yes, it is. And you actually brought up a good topic that I can't wait to talk about with the full cast later. Now, next up, we got someone that I've known for a little bit now. He's pretty awesome. He is pretty awesome. He is a producer. He is just an all-round fantastic, fun guy. And actually, I interviewed him around a couple months ago now. I'm about to find it. Around oh wow, it's been a year already. Okay, well time flies, but I have interviewed him and he's just an incredible person. Now let's bring to the stage Mr. Karan Joseph Riley. How are you doing today, sir? You are muted right now.
Peace and love, Queen, sister. Peace and love, Kings. What up, though?
Wow. So first off, you are a producer on this, so you are kind of behind the scenes on this. How does it feel to be, I guess, behind the scenes on such a powerful message?
Well, let's get something clear. I ain't never really behind nothing. Let's be clear with that. So, yeah, they say behind the scenes as a producer, but really, man, I'm just here and assisting my sister with putting this thing together. It's always an honor to be called upon to do any kind of form of leadership. So for me, I knew I had the resources to help my sister, like she's helped me with her resources, and I just you know me, man. I'm all about paying it forward. I'm all about the village. I'm all about holding each other accountable, and I'm all about living by example. So I had to answer the call when my sister's call. It's who I say I am, and it's who I got to be. You and I talk about that quite often. So I think I'm just being on purpose, being in my purpose and on purpose.
So what connects you to this story, I guess, personally?
That little sister in the corner over here that met 5 years ago, maybe 6 years now. She's the publisher of my book, Keep Pedaling, the Things I Learned on My Bike, which will be dropping really soon. So Ardre came in my life through the arts in a way, and we locked in and we haven't broken down since. So again, it's when people come into your village and they're part of your team and your village and your life, Ardre and I are family, whether we're doing books or plays or just kicking back and talking about the families and enjoying each other's wisdom. We locked in.
Now, first off, what Mr. Neal said about the entirety of this, it's really incredible when I see this performed beautifully. But what a lot of people do when they sometimes uplift women or uplift men, they tend to downplay what the other party has to do with it. And it's all about equalism. It's all about having both sides balanced. So how do you, I guess, keep both sides balanced when creating a play about appreciating men?
I just think it all starts at the source, man. Ardre's a very balanced woman, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? She has an amazing family. You know what I'm saying? Led by an amazing husband, and those two have conquered the world in a lot of different facets. And I think this is just a new lane for Ardre to just keep developing her all her talent. It's probably one of the hardest working women in show business, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, it's all connectivity, Jalen. I mean, it's just I can't. It's hard for me to really explain the connectivity and how it all is just coming together with this play and everybody that's involved. It's almost speechless. You know what I'm saying? You got to come and just see it. You got to come and understand what Ardre's putting together. And she's giving Black men a voice to talk about the things that we're afraid to talk about in our own times a lot of times. So this is a great opportunity for everybody to learn something from each other, men and women alike. And speaking of just the balance of it all, I think again it starts at the top, man. So her words are true, her words are real, but they're not accusatory, they're not biting, they're not pointing the finger at anybody. It's really opening, it's really the words are saying, here's me, see me, and you make the decision on what I've given you, and she leaves it wide open for everybody to just learn it and make their own assessments of everything. So it's not, you have some things where it's male bashing or woman bashing, but this is not that. This is really a love letter to our women in a way that's just really raw and real. All corners, not all corners, but most of them will be dealt with in this production.
All right, now I'd like to bring up all the cast back up and really talk about how you're able to really, because this is a cast of really just a lot of guys, and I know you've been running this for you 7 years now. 7 years. And how do you kind of, I guess, keep everything balanced with the entirety of the cast throughout?
You know, it actually works better than this.
One more time, Jalen.
How do you keep the cast balanced throughout your entire years of doing this, and how do you keep everything, steady?
Well, so actually, this is the first time that we're doing the production in 7 years. It's been 7 years of wanting to bring that back. And, 7 being the number of completion, I think that it's a really special time. I actually was very afraid to do the production. This production, and, every time I attend rehearsal, it's literally a gift to me, because when you write something, as an artist, you really never know if it's going to take wings. You don't know if, you can breathe life into it. And so to see it personified, to see these words personified, it really, really teaches me about what is possible. But I was afraid to do it because the last time we've done this show, it has been 7 years ago. And the theatrical space has certainly evolved and changed. The way that people consume art has evolved and changed.
Mm-hmm.
And so there were so many little things that happened that said, just go. So we literally have pulled everything together in under 60 days because it was just time to go. And so this is us running.
Bravo, first off. And how did you, I guess, manage it with just 60 days? That's incredible.
Well, the writing was done, for the most part. I went back and I tweaked some things, but the writing was done. It was more so about, asking the universe to bring the right people. And that's exactly what happened. And so I reached out to my trusted village, as Karan mentioned. I reached out to Karan. I've been talking to Karan about this for well over maybe 2 years. I've been saying I wanted to do this. Okay, Karan, 2 years. I've been talking to Stevie and Steviebaggsjr, the director, and I said, oh, we're going to do it. We're going to do it. And then I would be like, nope, I'm a little scared. I don't want to jump out there. I've been doing that for 2 years. And so I said, you know what, Karan? Do you think we can find the people? Do you think we can make this happen? And he was like, it's already done. It's already done. And so Karan started reaching out to his network. Rashida started reaching out to those individuals that she believed, and then Stevie as well. And so by the time we pulled our people together, this is what we had. We never had a formal casting. There wasn't a need. And we literally are still getting people sending messages almost every day saying, I see who's on the cast. Can I be a part of this? I really want to be a part of this. We have so many men who are asking to join. We have women saying, do you need makeup? I'm like, no, we don't need makeup. Women are asking to volunteer. You need backstage people. So people just want to be a part of the energy that's being reproduced. But what I really want to say is that it is about the words, it is about the art, but it is more about the village that has been cultivated and that continues to be cultivated. It really has become a community for each of the members of the cast. And that's the most beautiful thing, because this is going to be long lasting.
And Jalen, man, hey man, talk about how we got it done in 60 days. We come from people who created the pyramid, dog. That ain't nothing for us, man. That's what we do. We do amazing things. Difficult takes a day, impossible takes a week. Stop playing with us.
Wow.
Right. All of that.
Yeah. Wow. Now, before we get into some of our, cast and all around questions, we have one more person to introduce to the stage, Mr. Rod Minger. It might have some connection difficulties or whatever, but while he's getting connected, let's just ask, how do you guys, I guess, communicate together, and how do you guys really make sure your emotions are felt to the audience for the actors? I guess starting off with Mr. Scotty.
Well, one of the things that we do is that we meet weekly to work together, and we train. We have extra training on the side. I utilize the call and try to get extra help, and we lean on each other. When we're in there, we're making sure iron sharpens iron, Everybody's being honest with one another, and we're all pushing each other, for excellence, for the best. I think it's gonna be dope. People are gonna be shocked. They're gonna be blown away. My mama hit me up about this every day, talking about she needs some tickets. You feel me? So it's gonna be dope, man. I'm excited.
Now, Mr. Kevin.
Just piggybacking off, of what my boy just said, Scotty. Yeah, I mean, iron sharpen iron, and it's crazy because as soon as I walk in the room, when I come in, because I'm always late, but when I come in, it's always good energy, and I feel it. Like it's nothing that it's not fake or nothing like that. Like it's real. And so, as men, we're always in a space of competitiveness. Like we always want to be sharp. We always want to show what we can do. So it's fun. It's fun. And just, we just bring out the best out of each other.
Mr. Tobias?
I agree like with Kevin. I think the healthy competition is good. And one of the things that we always reiterate is each time that we meet, there's no ego. There's no, I'm this, I'm that, I'm making this happen, because everyone has a number of different accolades. But we come together, we push one another, we inspire each other, and I think that this play and this production, the effect is so much bigger than ourselves. So the fact that we're able to really work so cohesively, to bring all these talents to the stage together collectively, truly is a representation of the hard work that Ardre put in, and us actually making our voices heard as kings, because there's so many different things that we experience, and we don't always have the stage, should we say, or the plateau to really put it out there. So it's just amazing to be able to work with my brothers. A lot of them that I do know, I have worked with before. A lot of them are new, and like I said, it feels like family every time you enter the room.
Mr. Neal, can you tell us how it was, being with the cast and trying to really push out the emotion that's intended?
Oh man, I think one of the cool things about it is, man, like I like to call this the Avengers, man, because everybody in the cast is so talented, juggernauts in their own respectable way, man. And like the guys were saying, it's just a normal type of thing of competition, man. But no ego. We all tap in and pull from one of the same frequencies. So it's just, as an actor, individual, the way that I build my character and do my character analysis, like, every time I perform, I try to connect with, just with the lines, man, the dialogue. It's so thoroughly written, that it just gives me the opportunity to really connect each time. And I think one of the hardest things is just trying to nail in a certain type of format of delivering the dialogue, because obviously it's so colorful and it has so many layers to it that you can kind of go so many different places at times. So, the reality of it is, man, we just get an opportunity to really shoot in the gym. And with it being so much talent, a lot of times talent has to be, it has to be harnessed, and I think that, the producers and the directors and Ardre, everybody's doing a great job with harnessing this talent. And, at the same token, being lenient, but at the same time being on top of us, because, even though we're all professionals, it's still a level of consistency and momentum that we got to have in order to be game time ready, man. So to be able to have that that understanding to keep things in order, but then, have all of the competition, but at the same token, be no ego attached to it. It's a beautiful feeling, man. You know what I'm saying? And just to perform with you guys, it's it's wild, man.
Now, how do all of you, I guess, really dive deep and connect with your character?
I can't really talk for the brothers, you know what I'm saying, because I think everybody uses a different method in order to reach the layers. But ultimately I connect with my character by finding the things that's similar to the actual character, and then the things that are different, and being able to look at certain things in this actual particular monologue that I might have experienced and been through in my life, that it might have pushed me to do certain things or react in a certain way, is what I actually search for. and it helps me build my backstory, and it just helps me stay in the moment, man. So, it's just the work that we put in, preparation, and just understanding the importance of finding the peaks and valleys in the actual monologue as well, per se, because dealing with words, you want to be able to search and find, everything that makes it colorful,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Mr. Tobias, how do you really dive deep and connect with your character?
Oh, that's a loaded question. So many different ways. There's so many different things that either we've experienced firsthand or we're able to see, whether it be a family member, whether it be a friend, and then also coming from different background. I'm from Brooklyn, so definitely for some really rough beginnings. But my father was in the military. I've lived in different countries. I speak different languages. I've been engaged. I've been in a relationship with a woman as a girlfriend and different things. So it's different ways that you're able to really dig in deep and understand the character. And as Neil was saying, is that you really have to be able to kind of, I would say, you have to kind of dissect the words and the message that you're trying to deliver, and to make it as real as possible. So just really making it relevant, and I definitely, it's so many ways in which I resonate with all the characters and the monologues. And I think we had the perfect cast to really blow you away on the 18th of May.
Mr. Kevin, how do you really connect with your character?
I mean, like I said earlier, Ardre did such a great job, and it just seems like we were all, handpicked and allocated for these specific monologues, and that's just God. That's the universe bringing us all together. So for me, it's not difficult, and the fellas know, you guys know my monologue, so it's easy. I've had plethora of experiences, with different women and stuff like that. So it's beautiful. It's yeah, say the least.
I tell yours, I could tell yours is gonna be fun for you.
Oh yeah, lots of fun.
Now, Mr. Scotty, how do you
I
really
feel with the plethora.
I'm a newbie in this, man. I'm like the rookie out the bunch. You know what I'm saying? This is my first time doing this. So when I went to acting school, I learned a term called shoveling, right? So I'm really just trying to get myself in the mold or the mind frame of the experience of what I'm trying to deliver by asking myself questions, and really putting myself in the real mind frame of what I'm trying to deliver.
Well, first off, congratulations, because this is a great first thing to be in. It's a great position to really get you started. And how does, I guess, observing your cast really help you learn?
No doubt, I'm learning a lot from these guys. Just being around them, every time we link up, I'm learning from them.
Now, Mr. Kevin just talked about how everything seems handpicked, like everything seems like it was just meant for the specific cast member. So let's bring Miss Ardre back to the front for a second. And how did you, I guess, first get started in being who you are?
How I got started in being who I am. Well, I would say that as a writer, I'm always developing characters, and in storytelling, there is a thing called an inciting incident. We all have one. Every story has an inciting incident, and the inciting incident is the one moment in your life that changes everything, right? We have many moments in our lives that change everything, but if you really think about it, we all have that one moment that totally changes the trajectory of your life. Yeah. And mine was writing a book at the age of 10, writing and publishing a book. And when I was 10, I wrote and published that book. I was in a single parent home, grew up in a single parent home. Wow. And those words, I learned that words had power. I learned that stories were the most effective way to communicate emotions, thoughts, feelings, sentiments, new information, all the things. And then shortly after publishing that book, my mother did eventually marry, and that relationship was very tumultuous. And so I was in a home that was riddled with domestic violence. And so the pen became my safe space. And I always say, the ink never lies and the paper always listens. And so it really helped me to understand that I had a place to go, even if there was not a person that I could go to. And so words have always meant a lot to me, and that is how I became the person that I am. I was a vessel for stories, for untold stories and stories that needed to be told, and uncomfortable spaces and spaces of overcoming, stories about triumph. Those were the things that I gravitated towards because that is what I most needed. And so I wanted to be able to be a human vessel for other people's stories, to help people know that, circumstances are just that. They're circumstances, and that triumph is our birthright. So I am just living as I should. I wake up every morning without an alarm clock because I'm just so happy to have found my why, and to be able to walk in purpose and destiny and do that every single day.
It's incredible. Now, first off, with this whole play and it being about celebrating men, I do have a question for you.
Mhm.
How was it to be able to trust? Because I know a lot of people, after they grow up with houses with domestic abuse and things like that,
Mhm.
how was it to finally, I guess, trust men? Was it a problem for you, or what was the journey through it?
Yeah, I never thought that I would get married. I just did not see healthy relationships in that way. But lucky for me, the universe and God is always rallying for our best interests. So I met my husband at the age of 14. And lucky for me, I met someone who did not take advantage of me, but someone who did want the best for me. We both came into each other's lives. He had just suffered a very significant loss, and I felt like I had lost, was living with loss by not, having a father and then seeing domestic violence. And so we were just very, very good friends. And that friendship has been what solidified our relationship. I've always trusted him with my heart, and he trusted me with his. So I think when you are able to trust, then you can also be open to love. But it was very difficult. And, that is the reason, again, for this production, because even with that, even through 21 years, we're still learning. There's just nothing easy about trying to blend two completely different people. It's just not an easy process. But I do believe fully in love. I believe in companionship. I believe that we all deserve to have happiness, however we define that. And most importantly, I believe that what is good for one set of people doesn't mean that it's automatically good for another set of people. So we have to stop trying to tell people how their relationship should be, and decide how to create our own norms for ourselves. And that is the one thing that I think has helped my husband and I. We don't listen to other people. We try to communicate openly and create our own blueprint, because every
Yeah,
relationship is different.
that's incredible. Now, was your husband a big help in creating Heart of a Man? And how was it, especially not being a man, kind of like making the script and making something that would really affect men?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we always have conversations. I think we send 1,000 DMs on Instagram every day. Like, look at this. Did you see that? What about this scenario? He's always sending me stuff. He's like, oh, you should write about that. Oh, you should write a book about this. Oh, So he is on the lookout for ideas and thoughts. But this is really a compilation of just the things I've heard men speak about over the years. For me, I knew that I really only had one chance to get marriage right. If I didn't get it right, and I wouldn't be a good candidate to do it again. I was very much a strong woman, this whole boss women kind of thing. That's what I saw. So that's what I knew. I did not even understand that as a woman in a relationship, you have to understand how to be soft, and you have to allow a man to feel respected and needed and wanted. And so if you can do everything yourself, then why would a man need to be there? And that's just, again, I'm speaking only about my relationship, but I had to learn. And so I was really, and I still am very much, with my ear to the ground, listening to men, because I feel like women do a lot of talking. We're conditioned to talk. We're talking to one another, and we're the ones setting the standards. Like, say, for example, I'm going to say this, and this is slightly controversial, but whatever, like Kevin Samuels, he would give a lot of advice, right? God rest his soul, but he would give a lot of advice about women. And I was too one of the women that was like, oh my gosh, he's so harsh. But what I realized is that a lot of men gravitated towards him because some of the things that he said resonated. But for women, we're always like, no, a man doesn't want that. This is what a man wants. But no one can say what Ardre wants, right? I'm the only person that can say what I want. And so I really think it is beneficial to us as women to listen to men, and for men to listen to women, and women to listen to women, and men to listen to men, for us all to listen to one another. And that's the number one thing that I think is missing. We're all talking, but not a lot of people are listening to hear, to understand, to make sure that just because you say something that I don't agree with doesn't mean that this isn't a safe space for you to say it in. And so that's all that I want. I truly believe that if I can create a space where men feel safe to say what they want to say and women can hear it, then that's going to spark more discussions. And this is not just about romantic relationships. I can be a better friend to my brothers. They can be a better brother to me. We can support one another, and our communities can grow. And so this is really about the uplifting of the kingdom, not just relationships in general. We can all grow if we start to listen more.
So how long have you been, well, you've been writing since you were 10, but how long have you been in theater?
So the first play, I would say, I think it's been 10 years now. Wow. Didn't even realize that. I think it's been 10 years. I wrote the first theatrical production 2015, actually. So not quite 10 years, but 2015, I wrote the first theatrical production.
Wow. And the ball's been rolling ever since.
Yes.
Wow. That's incredible. Now, I'd like to bring on the cast again for, really, how does being in a play like this affect you with, I guess, how you treat yourself and how you treat the people around you?
I would say, you choose, as you dissect, right, the monologue, there are certain eye openers, right? Even, with my experiences, certain things that I never really thought of, things a certain way until, receiving this monologue. And so it's really helped me to be more conscious and more aware of, the way that I treat the women around me and my girlfriend, right? Making sure that, I tend her to her needs, and making sure that I'm open, right? Making sure that I'm listening, because like Ardre said, so many people doing this, but not a lot of people doing this, right? So you really, that's how you learn, right? That's how you take, data and you collect it and you move from there. And so if you're listening enough to the people that you care about and that you love, you can kind of tend to their needs by adjusting. And so for me, that's how this monologue has really helped me. And it's just an amazing experience.
It's right.
I agree. I think that a lot of times that you have people that they listen for a rebuttal, they listen for a response, but not listen to understand. So it allows you to be much more present and to be really conscientious about what's being said, what's going on, and understand that people think totally different. So because of the fact that the same message, we can be digesting it totally different, so in being able to really put more effort with communication and trying to be open and transparent and expressing what those feelings are. So it definitely makes you open your eyes on so many different levels, because as Kevin was saying earlier, the verbiage and the use of words and the powerful words that Ardre selected in the script, it can do a better job of really illustrating how it affects not only the male perspective but the female as well, so that we can actually come to, a single understanding. So it definitely has made a big impact on my understanding on a lot of different levels, because there's a lot of different topics that we discuss. So love to see you there. You definitely got to catch this. This play is going to be relevant for every person, male and female.
Everybody.
So, what do you want your audience reaction to be to the play? And do you think it's going to be any different from it was 7 years ago?
Me? Well, I absolutely. I just want people to come with an open heart. That's really all that I'm asking. Because I think that if you have an open heart, then you will be able to receive. And that's what this is. The cast, like, I really, this sounds crazy, but we had a rehearsal last week that the energy that was in the room was so powerful. I was like, I just went to the show. Like, I was just there. And I hope that everyone else can have as good of a time that I had and learn as much. I learn every time I hear them present, because of the fact that everybody has a different interpretation of the words. They are words, but everyone has a different interpretation of them. So even though I wrote them, the presentation is something different. And so it's a learning experience for me. So I just hope that people come with an open heart. I hope that men come with an open heart, because I believe that men will truly feel heard. I think that men will truly feel seen. And I hope that women come with an open heart. And I'm so excited because we have so many couples that are attending. And believe it or not, we have a cast member who shared with me that he attended another prior production, and that he and his wife actually were in the need of healing, and they came to the show, and that's exactly what they got. So I'm really hoping that that is the same thing for this production, just open hearts.
How do you two feel about how do you two want the audience to react to the play?
Definitely open heart, open mind, to be able to come without having your guard up, to really listen, um, to be able to digest everything that's being conveyed, and understand that we all can learn from one another. There's not a right and a wrong, and you have to understand who you're with. And it's one of those situations, I think sometimes people get in relationships and they get complacent. So it's one of the things that you constantly have to work on it and evolve with. It's with anything that you want to excel at. So to keep reinvesting into each other and yourself, and being really conscientious, so I'm doing a lot of self-reflection.
Yeah. And, I mean, you just want people to react, organically and authentically, right? I mean, of course, we may have, as cast members, an idea of how we want them to react, but we're not going out there, fishing for that. We just want people to just, like Ardre said, open their hearts and open their minds, and be able to really, really understand what we're saying, because there's so many nuggets. There's so much good stuff, in these words. And we're hoping that, I would say, not so much of the reaction, because that's great, but that's, temporary, but that it has a long effect, right? Long lasting effect, that it's going to heal people's relationships, right? That it's going to really open some doors up, and open some opportunities for couples to really, really talk about, just things that they've gone through based on a play, and things that they've heard, and things that they've learned throughout this experience. I call it an experience, because that's what it's going to be. We want them to be able to just take something away from that, and that they can use in their relationships forever.
Now, we've been talking about this play for the entire interview, and personally, I'm hyped to see the reaction. I love it. Because I love the premise, because it's kind of weird saying it's a premise, but I just love when people go out of their way and really push this, because it's not something that was focused on in the mainstream line, and even in like households, not focused on. And I'm really, again, round of applause for you, Miss Ardre, for bringing this out again. And it was 60 days And that I know a lot about scheduling stuff, and 60 days, it might seem like a lot. It's not a lot. It's not a lot. And it's incredible how you were able to do this and bringing together such a powerful cast members and just spread this powerful message. So how can people see the play?
Absolutely. Well, first of all, let me say thank you to you. I'm very proud of you for being such a wonderful young soul. The communication back and forth, you assembling this, I'm certain that you are busy as well. So I know that I speak on behalf of the entire cast and production. We're super proud of you and we want to commend you and to see you keep going. So let us know how we can support you. So that's one. Two, I want to publicly thank the cast. This can happen in such a quick turnaround because I'm working with consummate professionals. I'm working with people who truly believe in what they're doing. They believe in their craft. They believe in what we're sharing with others. And so I want to just say thank you. I constantly say that, but I just think that so many times we devalue the efforts that go into things like this. And so I want to thank the entire cast, the production, everyone. And so last but not least, you can get tickets to the show at iamardreorie.com. So we will definitely, Jalen, you'll give them the spelling of that because I know that sometimes people
Yes,
don't
the links will
know.
also be in the description as well for
Okay, there
all
you
the
go.
actors that are going to be a part of it and to get the tickets because it's gonna be lit.
It's gonna be amazing.
Yes, yes. Now, before we get off, we actually do have one more guest, and I'd really like to share him because he's an actor, he's a coach, he's a director, he's a writer, he's a producer, and I want to know what's your connection to this play and what you really want to see the audience get from it, And introducing to the stage, Mr. Dennis L.A. White. How are you doing today, sir?
What's up? What's up? How you guys doing?
Great, fantastic.
Oh man, sorry for being late. I had to do another situation, but I'm glad I can get on before you guys ended. Perfect timing, right?
Mhm.
He surely is. Now, can you tell us what kind of connects you to the story?
My character is Jay, and Jay is the voice of every married man in the history of time. I represent the aspect of letting a woman know or wife know how her husband really feels about her. And so you can't say you didn't hear it. I'm putting it all on the table, and I'm a voice and a martyr for Black husbands across the world because it's raw and it's very vulnerable. And so I think it's something that, women need to hear. Definitely.
And how did you get in contact with Miss Ardre?
So crazy, right? I hit her up and asked her, could I audition for a project? Like, your next project, whatever. I saw that she was a writer. And so I was like, yo, whenever I want to do a play. I put it on my vision board and was just putting it in the atmosphere. So I saw her. And I said, please, can I audition for whatever you have coming up? And she's like, actually, we're in the midst of a play right now, which we have a spot for you. We love. I'm like, what? So I agreed, and it was me coming in after their rehearsing was very challenging for me because there's so amazing men in this project. And I felt I was behind the 8 ball, so it's like, oh my God, I didn't expect to hear what I heard. And I was like, this is crazy. So I'm just honored to be a part of these amazing brothers and working with this lady.
It's incredible. It's incredible. It really is. I am excited to see how the audience feel about it. And sadly, our time did just come to an end. But before we get off, I'd like all of the cast members to share how can the audience get in contact with you, how can they see all the stuff that you do and really just support you guys.
Absolutely. You can follow me on Instagram, actor_Tobias Armand. It's TOBIASARMAND. That's on everything. So YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, most definitely. And again, Jalen, very proud of everything that you're doing. It's an honor to be working with these brothers. you know, and the fact that we're able to take all of our talents and just make it gel and then make a powerful impact.
Absolutely. You can find me, Kevin Savage Brand, on Instagram, and also Kevin Savage and Kevin Savage Brand on Twitter as well. And
You can find me at Dennis L.A. White on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, OnlyFans. And and if you're interested in acting and casting, go to actlikeyouKnow.org. You can find me there, actlikeyouKnow.org, and Dennis L.A. White and all platforms. Follow me, I'll follow you back.
Well, thank you all for coming on. And Miss Audrey, can you send the link after I do my outro so I can ask you something?
Sure.
Thank you. And guys, make sure you see it. It's going to be fantastic. Now, all right, you know what time it is. The interview is over, so it's sponsor time. Now, first up, we got Chess and Community. Now, I just said this earlier, but Chess and Community has been a real supporter, and they are incredible. If you have a member of the youth or someone that really just needs something to focus on, and I guess to really just get their mind straight and get thinking before they move, and really just, it's incredible. All right, I played chess before, and I'd never really thought of it like that. And ever since joining Chess and Community, I really think before I move. Everything I'm doing, I'm like, is this really something that I should do? Is this really something that's worth it? And hey, it's something that's really important for the youth to have. So please support Chess and Community. It's incredible. Now, next up, we have the Mitchell's Academy of Music and Dance. I have been with the Mitchells for 2 years now, and it's incredible. They actually do something called Guild that's coming up right now. So, hey, I guess pray for me. It's kind of like a music test thing, and it's really just pretty cool. It's really getting you into music programs and stuff like that. And let me tell you, the Mitchells, they know their music. They love their music. They live, breathe, feel music. And it's incredible. If you have a passion for music and or dance and really want to get somewhere with it, please check out the Mitchell's Academy of Music and Dance. Now, last but not least, I am being an honoree, youth entertainer honoree. Doesn't happen that much, and I'm really hyped when it does, because it's like I talk about people a lot. I talk about people, and it's just crazy that sometimes people talk about what I do. And please, if you do have the time, please come to the Constellation Awards ceremony by Heaven Help One Help All. It's going to be Saturday, May 11th, 3 p.m. So please check it out. And guys, thank you so much for coming on. Make sure you check out Art of a Man. And guys, stay tuned. Peace.